Hey, what's going on guys? My name is Anthony. The 1.13 update Aquatic is finally here, everybody. But anyways, today I'm going to be bringing you guys 75 things that were added in the Minecraft 1.13 update Aquatic. Now, if you guys do enjoy today's video, then be sure to give this video a like rating. Now, if this video is able to hit over 10,000 likes, then I will upload a 50 things you didn't know about 1.13 video. But anyways, enough of me rambling, let's go ahead and get into all of the new features added in the update Aquatic. I hope you guys enjoy it. The first 1.13 feature that I wanted to put at the number 1 spot is that dolphins have been added to swim around in the ocean, and they look like this. Another new mob added in 1.13 are turtles, and they look like this. They can spawn on beaches, but they can also swim around in the ocean, as you can see. A huge variety of tropical fish have been added as mobs to swim around in the ocean, adding a lot more life into the underwater experience in Minecraft. Pufferfish have also been added into the ocean, and they come in 3 different varieties based on how close the player is to it. Minecraft has received a new title screen in the 1.13 update, featuring many of the new structures, blocks and mobs that were added in the update Aquatic. Icebergs are new structures that were added in 1.13, and they generate in frozen ocean biomes. From the iceberg structure, you were able to obtain a new block added in 1.13 known as blue ice, and it looks like this. A new weapon known as the trident has been added in 1.13. It can be thrown by holding right click, or you can use it as a melee weapon by pressing left click. It's also worth noting that the trident will deal a whopping 4.5 hearts of damage, so yeah, this weapon is very powerful. A new swimming animation has been added in 1.13, making it a lot easier to travel around in the ocean, and this animation is just amazing. I love it. Oceans are a lot more lively in 1.13 because you can find things such as kelp and seagrass, which randomly generate underwater and look like this. Bubble columns are a new game mechanic introduced in 1.13, and it works in 2 different ways. The player is able to create bubble columns by placing either soul sand or magma blocks in the water. Placing a magma block will cause the air bubbles of the bubble columns to point downwards, which means if you go into these air bubbles, you will be dragged under the water. Placing soul sand in the water has the opposite effect, as if you come into contact with these air bubbles, they will actually lift you to the surface. A change has been made in 1.13 where items will float to the top of the water instead of sinking to the bottom, making it a lot easier to retrieve the items. Coral reefs are structures introduced in 1.13 that generate in warm ocean biomes. They consist of multiple clusters of coral blocks, coral and coral fans. These coral reef structures can be quite difficult to come by, but if you do encounter one, they are very beautiful and you will be blown away by how awesome they look. Phantoms are flying hostile mobs added in 1.13 that will attack players who have not slept in their bed for over 3 in-game days. Phantoms will drop a phantom membrane upon death, which can be used to repair the elytra item, or it can be used to make a new potion called the Potion of Slow Falling. Now, this new 1.13 potion basically does what it describes, as it allows the player to fall at a much slower rate, and you also don't take any fall damage when hitting the ground. In 1.13, buttons, pressure plates and trapdoors now have separate textures for all 6 types of wood. In 1.13, the pumpkins that generate in your Minecraft world will no longer have a face. To get the faced version of the pumpkin, you just simply have to right click on the faceless version with shears, and there you go, you've got a pumpkin with a creepy face on it. Underwater ruins are new structures added in 1.13, and they are basically clusters of many different blocks that generate underwater in ocean biomes. Now, these underwater ruins will almost always contain a chest inside of them containing randomly generated loot. These underwater ruins can also contain a new treasure map item, which can be used to find buried treasure, which basically consists of a single chest buried in the beach somewhere, but once you find it, this chest will also contain loot in it. The update Aquatic have also added shipwrecks, which are structures that generate on the floor of oceans or on beaches. These shipwrecks are made up of wood materials and contain 1 to 3 chests that also contain loot in them, and you can also find treasure maps in these as well. In 1.13, the colour of the ocean will actually change colour depending on what biome you are in, as you can see on screen. In the 1.13 update, you are now able to place 2 single chests next to each other by pressing the shift key on your keyboard, and voila! 4 new enchantments have been added in 1.13, and I'm not going to show all of them, but I will show one of them as an example. The enchantment I'm showing you guys is the new loyalty enchantment. Now this is an enchantment for the trident, and basically what it does is it makes the trident return to you when you throw it. So if we throw the normal one, you will see that it won't return to me, but if I throw the enchanted one, you will see that it comes back to me. Very awesome. So you've probably noticed that it is nighttime in Minecraft right now, but you'll also notice that this part of the water right here is lit up, and yeah, they're basically being lit up by these sea pickle plants right here, and they're pretty much a new light source for the underwater part of the game. Another new mob that has been added in 1.13 is this creepy looking mob right here, and this mob is called the drowned mob. Now this mob is essentially the underwater counterpart to the zombie, as it has a lot of resembling features to the zombie, and it also has a similar melee attack, as you can see on screen. Another way of knowing that the drowned mob is basically a zombie is that actual zombies that fall into the water will turn into a drowned mob, as you can see on screen. However, drowned mobs are a lot more dangerous than zombies, as they have a small chance to spawn with a trident weapon in their hand, and they'll actually throw this trident at you, meaning they can deal a lot of damage to you. It's worth noting that drowned mobs can actually drop the trident upon death, and this is actually the only way you can obtain a trident in Minecraft. If you wanted to see the coral blocks in more detail, then here you go, they look like this, and if you want to see the coral fans and the normal coral, then they look like this. Very nice indeed. A new type of log has been added into Minecraft, and this log is known as a stripped log. Now to create a stripped log, you just simply right click on a normal log with an axe, and there you go, they look like this. They look very smooth and they just look awesome, to be honest. I really like the look of these new blocks. The turtles I mentioned earlier in this video are actually able to be bred by using seagrass, which will basically result in them laying eggs in their home beach. The turtle egg will take a little bit of time to hatch, and it's also worth noting that they can only hatch at night time. Once the egg hatches, you will see a tiny little baby turtle hatch from it, and oh my god, they look so cute. Look at them. Once the baby turtle grows into an adult turtle, it will drop an item called a scute. Once you have 5 of these scute items, you can use it to craft what is called a turtle shell, which basically acts as a helmet and gives you the water breathing status effect, which is very helpful for being underwater. Be sure to protect your turtle eggs at all costs, because mobs like zombies and drowned mobs will actually try to step on them. The dolphins I mentioned earlier in this video will actually play with nearby items that are dropped in the water. I mean, just look at this dolphin playing with the diamond. I should also mention that dolphins are in fact neutral mobs, which means they will only become hostile towards them if you provoke them. So yeah, don't hit a dolphin or they'll try to kill you. Oh, and another thing, don't let a dolphin stay on land too long, because if they do, they will actually suffocate and just basically die, and that will be very sad. However, if you do happen to let a dolphin sadly pass away on land, then it will actually drop cod upon death. You can use this cod to basically feed the dolphin, and they'll pretty much help players find buried treasure in your Minecraft world, because they will swim to the nearest shipwreck or underwater ruin. Speaking of cod, there are 2 other fish I forgot to mention, because yeah, there are actually codfish and salmon fish that will also swim around in the ocean, and they look like this. The pufferfish I mentioned earlier in this video are actually very dangerous, because if you go near one, it will inflict 7 seconds of poison on you. So yeah, I'd avoid the pufferfish. If you happen to collect some kelp in the water, then be sure to cook it in the furnace, because it will turn into dried kelp, which you can actually use as a source of food. That's right, you can eat the dried kelp. Alternatively, you can use the dried kelp to craft a dried kelp block, which can be used as a fuel for the furnace, and the dried kelp block can actually smelt up to 20 items. In 1.13, prismarine stairs and slabs have been added into the game, and they come in 3 variants, which are prismarine, dark prismarine, and prismarine bricks, and they all look like this. A new item has been added in 1.13, and it is called the Nautilus shell, and it looks like this. this. This item can be obtained in two ways. It can either be obtained by fishing, or you can get it from a drowned mob upon death, but it's probably easiest to just fish it. Another new item that's been added in 1.13 is an item that is called Heart of the Sea, and it looks like this. Now, the Heart of the Sea item can only be obtained by finding a buried treasure chest. So yeah, you're going to need a treasure map in order to find one of these items. Once you obtain at least one Heart of the Sea and 8 Nautilus shell, you are able to create a new block that has been added in 1.13, and this block is called the Conduit, and it looks like this. To craft a conduit, it is very simple. You just put one Heart of the Sea in the middle and then just surround it with 8 Nautilus shells, and there you go, you've got the conduit item. Now, the conduit is basically the underwater version of the beacon, and to get this beacon effect from the conduit, you need to surround the block with prismarine blocks like so. Once the conduit beacon is set up correctly, you will be given what is called the conduit power status effect. This status effect will firstly stop your breath meter from running out so quick, which means you will survive a lot longer underwater. You will also be given what is called underwater night vision, which means you'll be able to see a lot better underwater, which is very cool. And finally, you will be given increased mining speed, which, as it says, you'll be able to mine a lot faster underwater. In 1.13, you are able to use a water bucket to scoop up a fish mob that is swimming around in the water. You can use a water bucket on all 4 variants of the fish, such as cod, salmon, pufferfish, and tropical fish, but right here you can see I'm using it on tropical fish. If you right click with the fish bucket on land, then you'll notice that I release both the fish and the water. So yeah, this is a great way to transport fish and potentially make aquariums in Minecraft. A small little feature that's been added in 1.13 is that when you attack a squid, you'll notice that they release ink now, whereas before they didn't. The phantoms I mentioned earlier are actually able to burn in the sunlight, which means they won't pose as much of a threat during day. The coral blocks and the coral fans are actually able to die if they're not coming into contact with water, so they actually have dead block counterparts, and they look like this. In 1.13, flicking a lever or lever now displays redstone particles. In 1.13, packed ice can now be crafted by using 9 ice, as you can see. In 1.13, players that are in creative mode can now sleep even if there are monsters nearby, which is very, very helpful. Large spruce trees will now transform nearby grass blocks into podzol when they grow, which looks very cool. And finally, the thing that everyone has probably been most excited for, baby zombies will now burn in sunlight. Finally. So there you have it. That was 75 things that was added in the 1.13 update Aquatic. I really hope you all enjoyed this video and or found it informative. Now again, if you did enjoy this video or found it helpful, then be sure to give this video a like rating, because I spent a very long time on it and it will really help me out a huge bunch. But anyways guys, I am going to go now. I really hope you all enjoyed the new update Aquatic. This update is just amazing. I'm so excited it's finally been released, but yeah, I'm going to go now. So thank you all so much for watching the video. Have a fantastic day, and I will see you all next time. Goodbye. Katie, thank you so much for building the fantastic world. It helped a lot with this video.